For the record, my name is Brian Worrell, District 4 City Councilor, and I am the Chair of the Boston City Council Committee on Ways and Means. Today is October 22nd, 2024. This hearing is being recorded, is also being live streamed at boston.gov/city-council-TV and broadcast on Xfinity, Channel 8, RCN Channel 82, and FiOS Channel 964. Written comments may be sent to the committee email at ccc.wm@boston.gov and will be made part of the record and available to all councilors. Public testimony will be taken at the end of this hearing. Individuals will be called on in the order in which they signed up and will have 2 minutes to testify. If you are interested in testifying in person, please add your name to the sign-up sheet near the entrance of the chamber. If you're looking to testify virtually, please email our Central Staff Liaison, Shane Pack, at shane.pac@boston.gov for the link, and your name will be added to the list. Today's hearing is on docket number 1303, order to increase veterans' property tax exemption. This matter was sponsored by Councilors Brian Worrell, Council President Louis Jen, and referred to the committee on August 28, 2024. I'd like to acknowledge that we're here today thanks to our colleagues at the State House who passed and signed the HERO Act, which went into effect in August. This order today would be for FY26 and fiscal years going forward. It will allow the city to essentially double its property tax exemption for veterans, as we are currently looking to the State House to give another greater tax relief to the residents of Boston, but for now, they have given us this minor tool, which I believe we should opt into. We are in a fiscally strong position as a city, and I believe we are in a strong enough position to give this type of relief to veterans. I know in the past that the city has struggled to distribute all of the state grants we're allowed to give to the city veterans. This tool will give money directly into the pockets of disabled veterans in the city through a mechanism that already works. Boston is a welcoming city for all of our veterans, and being the first city to opt into this greater tax relief, we are sending a strong message that Boston cares for its veterans. Today, I'm joined by my council colleagues in order of arrival, Council President Louis Jen, and also Council Weber. I would like to read into the record a letter yesterday from Council Flynn. I'm writing to inform you that due to a potential conflict of interest with tomorrow's Boston City Council Ways and Means hearing on docket number 1303, order to increase veterans' property tax exemption, I will not be participating in the hearing and will be recusing myself from a vote of any discussion on this matter at the Boston City Council meeting as well. I've communicated with the clerk's office and the Massachusetts State Ethics Commission on the letter. We've also received letters of absence from Council Santana, Council Murphy, and Council Pepin. I'd like to turn it over to my council colleagues for any opening remarks. Council President Louis Jen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Councilor Orrell, and thank you for this filing. I'm happy to co-sponsor. I want to thank the commissioners before us for their work. I know that it is incredibly difficult for people to meet their basic necessities, and through both this tax exemption and the work that we're trying to do to make sure that our residents don't carry too much of a tax burden, I think it's important that we find ways to bring down costs for our residents, and particularly our veterans, like you, Commissioner Santiago, and everyone who sacrificed for our country. So thank you for this filing. Looking forward to this hearing and to getting this passed. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Weber, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you to the filers, Councilors Worrell and Madam President Louis Jen. I strongly support this. Commissioner Santiago, we just saw each other this morning at an event for veterans, and talking to veterans in Boston, across Boston. They need help. People on fixed incomes need help with their, home costs, and this is one great way to try to support our veterans here in Boston, and look forward to the hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to now introduce today's panelists testifying on behalf of the administration. Commissioner Arenello, Commissioner of Assessment for the City of Boston, and Commissioner Santiago, Commissioner of Veteran Services. The floor is now yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Council President Louis Jen, Chair Worrell, and Councilor Weber. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk on continue to help out our veterans here in the city of Boston and taking the needs to them where they're at. I do want to take this opportunity to speak about certain events that we do have coming up as we approach Veterans Day, which, as we all know, is going to be November 11th. I would like to speak on some of these events. But before I do that, I also wanted to talk about our Veterans Benefit Specialists. These are the staff members on our team that actually go and take care of the benefits and talk to our veterans to ensure that they get the federal, state, and local benefits that they've earned and deserve. They, this week, are participating in the yearly training that's being provided by the Executive Office of Veteran Services in the state. They're receiving updates, and I'm very proud of the work that they do on behalf of our veterans and also their families. All our VBSs are accredited to also process VA claims. I urge all of my veterans out there, all of my fellow veterans out there, to use accredited claims agents. And the reason I say that is because there are a lot of folks out there, and we call them claim sharks, that what they do is they will process and help you process your claim for a fee. That fee you've earned. That fee belongs to you, the veteran, and your family. So please go see a veteran accredited office, either here in Boston or in your local community. So with that, I want to take the opportunity also to recognize the whole staff at Veteran Services. They are the forefront in ensuring that all our veterans and their families' quality of life are taken care of and are recognized and honored for the sacrifices that they have made. I cannot be any prouder of them and how their passion guides their work. We have a full plate of events leading up to and on Veterans Day, so let me quickly here get started. First, I wanted to quickly speak about 2 Hero Square dedications. The Hero Squares allow us to pay tribute and honor our neighbors who served in the United States Armed Forces and were killed in action. So these Hero Squares are a very visible and permanent way for us to show our respect and recognize those veterans and their families. You can view these signs throughout the city. We have over 1,200 of them. They are black signs with a gold border, and the name has gold lettering. There is also a gold star on it. That gold star is very significant because that gold star is a symbol that represents the family of the fallen service member. We here in Boston are very unique in that we create a bioplaque that tells a little bit about that hero and their family. I would like to take this opportunity to also thank the Transportation Department in the City of Boston for all their responsive work on generating, installing, and caring for these Hero Squares. So this weekend on October 26th, we have a Hero Square for Max Hershkovitz. Max was killed in action by an enemy shell on July 23rd, 1918 in World War I. The location of this Hero Square is going to be on Dern Street and Hancock Street, that corner right behind the State House, just up the hill. That's going to be at 10 a.m. on Saturday. On November 10th, the day before Veterans Day, we are going to be honoring and recognizing Ronaldo Sestito. His Hero Square is going to be located on Blue Hill Avenue and Quincy Street in Roxbury. That is going to be at 10 a.m. Ronaldo was killed in action on December 14th, 1944. That was World War II. Some of the other ceremonies that we have installed for and leading up to Veterans Day is going to be our Army Week kickoff ceremony. This ceremony is going to be to highlight the Army's deep connections to the city of Boston, and it's also going to allow the Boston community to connect with their Army. The kickoff ceremony is going to be here at City Hall Plaza, where we are going to have a flag raising and raise the U.S. Army flag. That's going to be, again, it's going to be on October 28th. It's going to start at 10 a.m. in City Hall Plaza. On Saturday, November 9th, is where we're going to have our Veterans Day Parade. It's going to start as it has in the past couple of years on Copley Square by the library, 700 Boylston Street if you need to put it in your GPS. And it's going to continue all the way here to City Hall Plaza. This year's Grand Marshal is going to be State Senator Lydia Edwards. Lydia also served here in this chamber as a city councilor. This year's theme is Legacy of Loyalty and Service, which highlights the dedication to honoring those who made personal sacrifices in their commitment to serve. So Senator Edwards, along with all our veterans and their families, embodies that commitment in our service to our country and our community. On Veterans Day, November 11th, We have three ceremonies that we know for sure are going to happen. The first one is going to be at the VFW Fitzgerald Post in South Boston. The address is 715 East 4th Street. The post, we're going to assemble there at 9 o'clock, going to march to St. Bridget's Church, where we're going to have a mass at 10 a.m., followed by brunch. The post will also be accepting donations for the Chelsea Soldiers Home. So they're looking things like hats, socks, scarves, toiletries, things of that nature. The next one is going to be a service at the General Edward O. Gordine Park at Nubian Square. That's going to be partnered with between myself, Haywood, and Haywood Fennell's Triad Veterans League. That is going to start at 10:30 a.m. on Veterans Day on Nubian Square, right there at Gordine Park. And it's going to be the first time that we are going to be holding this Veterans Day event at Gordine Park, so I'm very much looking forward to it. The next one is going to be the Puerto Rican Veterans Day Memorial Event, or Veterans Day event, and that's going to be at 1 o'clock there at 1400 Washington Street, the site of the Puerto Rican monument, the very first one that we've had here in the country. So our website has an extensive list of all of our upcoming events and community partners. We also update our websites regularly. So please, if you want to learn more information about these events or anything that we do at the City of Boston Veteran Services, you can go to www.gov/veterans. One of the great things that I love about these events is that it's a way for us to continue to allow us to promote our programs, our services, and our benefits. And it also allows our community partners like the VA and the Executive Office of Veteran Services to do the same. Like Councilor Weber said earlier, we attended and participated at Town Hall. It was hosted by the Boston State Representative Bill McGregor and Sam Montano. And there we had an opportunity to listen to and have a conversation with the Secretary of Veteran Services for the state, John Santiago, who discussed and also took questions about the HERO Act. The HERO Act, what it stands for, is honoring, empowering, and recognizing our service members and veterans. This act was recently signed by Governor Healy. The act includes over 30 spending and policy initiatives, tax credits, and statutes changes organized into 4 buckets. The buckets are benefit expansion, commitment to inclusion and greater representation, modernization of veteran services, and honoring and recognizing our veterans. Right now, that is the most comprehensive expansion of our services in the state in over 20 years. So if you want more information, you could also go to our website to get more information. But here in our office, what we're doing is we're working and are about to release a fact sheet on those 4 buckets of the HERO Act very soon and how it pertains to our city's veterans. So here today, we are going to talk about expanding veterans' property exemptions. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to my colleague, Commissioner Nick Arnello, who will speak on the tax exemption.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Commissioner Santiago. Really appreciate everything that your department does for the city and for our residents. Thank you so much, Councilors Worrell and President Louis Jean. President Louis Jean and Councilor Weber for having me here today. Really happy that you put forward this proposal, and I'm happy to support it on behalf of the administration. I think it's an excellent proposal that helps out a constituency that I think can really use the help. There are 2 parts to your proposal. I can happily report that one of them we actually already do through a different law. So one of them is doubling an exemption, and we actually have another law that covers that already doubles exemptions for veterans as well as our seniors. And then the second part, which is the new part, creates a cost of living adjustment, which is something you may be familiar with. We put it forward a while ago. We tried to do an adjustment for that for all of our personal property exemptions, including our seniors, but that has been held up a little bit with the state legislature. So happy to support the portion right now for veterans that's in this law, and then hopefully we can come back and get the senior one taken care of as well, because I think having those adjustments tied to inflation just really makes a lot of sense. It makes it so that we don't have to constantly come back to rejigger dollar amounts So I think that they're great suggestions and happy to support them on behalf of the administration.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your presentation. I'll turn it over to my council colleagues for any questions. Council President, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question, and thank you to Commissioner Arenier. See?
Yeah,
I did that intentionally just so that you felt better. Arenier, please say it for me.
Arenello, but
Arenello,
it's
okay.
very, very kind of you to
Okay.
make me feel better, though, I think.
Well, the last name like Louis Jean. So Commissioner Arenello and Commissioner Santiago. Commissioner Santiago, can you please send, there's a number of events. If you could send that out so that we could have it on the council, would be great to have it so that we could, I wrote down some, but I know I didn't catch everything. So I would love to be able to make sure that all of my colleagues have those events. You said how many veterans benefit specialists are there?
Right now, we have 4 veteran specialists.
Okay. And is that meeting the need that you see in the city of Boston?
Yes. Right now, we're very much meeting the needs. Their scope of work actually have expanded a little bit to include the VA benefits, and that's why I'm happy to report that they now are accredited to do so.
Great, awesome. And I imagine you underline the need to seek accredited assistance is because it's a community that is, I think we've talked about this here, that can often be preyed upon if
Yes.
they go to people who don't have the knowledge or who are, charging them an arm and a leg for something that they access that they could, information that they could get for free.
Correct, ma'am.
Okay.
That is correct.
Awesome. So I hope that folks listen and use your office as a resource. And then I just wanted to uplift the work of Joe Connolly and Killed in Action, along with your incredible office and the Hero Square dedications. I know that they were recently out last Saturday cleaning some of the headstones at one of the cemeteries here. So I just want to shout out the work that they do and want to thank Commissioner. It's good to hear that we already offer that exemption and that we'll be able to do the COLA adjustment under this formal petition. So I don't have any other questions. Just thank you to the both of you for your work.
Thank you. Commissioner Santiago, would you
Well, I was saying thank you, but to add a little bit about Joe Connolly and his team at the KIA project have been great partners to ensuring that we recognize and honor those veterans that were also killed in action. They are going to be joining us. We're actually, because of the great work that we do, because of the KIA project, the DPAA, which is an accounting agency in the federal government, are actually going to visit Boston to talk about the work that they do in identifying the veterans, the over 81,000 service members that have not returned home. So because of the great work of our partners and Joe Connolly and the KIA project, we're being recognized around the country for the great work that we do in recognizing our fallen heroes.
That's awesome. I mean, for every veteran, deceased veteran's birthday, KIA project goes out and puts a flower on their tombstone, and I just think it's so touching, and I think it's just a way to remember people who died when they were 20 before, they really were able to start a family before, and they sacrificed everything so that we are able to continue to uplift their memory, even in that smallest of way. It's just incredibly powerful. So glad that we're a model.
Thank you. Council Weber, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Commissioner Santiago, in terms of the veteran benefits specialists, do we have any, are there openings that you still have? I know we talked during the budget process, you were in the process of.
No, for the Veterans Benefit Specialist, we have all the positions filled.
Okay.
Fortunately, yes.
Great. And then we heard something this morning at the town hall about license plates and recognizing female veterans. Somebody who was there said she's tired of getting out of the car and somebody thanking her husband for his service, but where it was, her, is there, I don't know, I think this, obviously license plates, I think that's a state issue. Is there anything we can do as a city, I don't know, maybe that we're already doing to support female veterans?
Well, what we could do is continue to advocate for them and ensure that their voices are heard, not just in here in the city, but also in the State House. And let me tell you, we have some amazing, active women veterans in the city of Boston that do make their voices heard, as you see this morning at Post 76, where we had the town hall. But just continue to advocate for them and ensure that those bills that positively affect our women veterans are seen and heard by those representatives and state senators up in the State House.
Okay, and then so in terms of the HERO Act, we have the ability to raise the property tax exemption, and so but doubling it, is there still room that we can grow the exemption under the HERO Act? I don't know is there a limit, a dollar?
The HERO Act just basically states for it just to double it. It doesn't really expand more on it. I don't know if you have any additional information on that one.
Yeah, so there are two provisions that are talking about property taxes that are in the HERO Act. So 22I is the first provision that lets us adjust the cost of living adjustment. So it's the COLA adjustment. So that applies to the base. And then there's that second section, I think it's 22J, that talks about doubling. But that's something that we actually already do. And the statute that we do it under now allows us to also do it for our senior exemptions. So I'm not advocating that we pass 22J because sometimes you pass multiple laws that do the same thing, they can create weird conflict. So since that is something that we already have the ability to do and that we already apply, so one upside of that is that it's in effect for fiscal year 25 as well as fiscal year 24, whereas the COLA adjustment, because of timing and because of when the statute was passed at the State House, would be in effect for fiscal year 26. We have the one that's worth more in effect now, and it just doubles the maximum exemption level that we have, and it gets tied to tax increases. And it is something that we apply automatically in the department, so people don't have to fill out a different application or anything like that. It's when you get the exemption level, you get the maximum amount that we can possibly provide to you. And then the COLA adjustment will be the same thing. Once we hopefully have it passed and can go into effect, then it'll be something automatically that my department will take care of every year.
And so it's a $400 exemption, and then we double it to $800?
Yeah, so there are ranges. There are actually a number of different veterans exemptions, and they're tied to disabilities. And then we also actually have exemptions for active duty National Guard members and members of the reserves that get full property exemptions. So we have a whole different kind of schedule of programs tied to service members. For the ones that would be getting the cost of living adjustment and that currently get the doubling, they range from $400 as the base amount to $1,500. And it is tied to different clauses and different disability levels.
Okay, and then in terms of, I guess, the COLA numbers, can you, I don't know, maybe you mentioned them, but what is the base and what are we looking at?
Is an excellent question. I don't have the full schedule in front of me. It pegs it to some national inflation standards. And then, so you get incremental amounts every year on your exemption that vary with the inflation schedule.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess maybe we could get the schedule at some point. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And again, to the filers, I think this is great to focus on this, and I'm just happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Council Weber. I know that the state reimburses the city for some of the exemptions under. Is this the same case scenario? Like, would the state be reimbursing us for any of the exemptions?
So that's a really good question. So for any of these implemented changes, we don't get reimbursement. So that's a cost that the city chooses to carry on its own. So like the doubling that, again, we already implement, that's a city cost. That's not something we get state reimbursement for. We get some reimbursement from the state on like underlying base amounts. It changes with the exemption and it changes with the year. It's needlessly complicated, like a lot of tax laws and exemptions. So we do get some money back in connection with some of these programs, but the parts that we're here to talk about today and the doubling that we already implement, we don't get reimbursed for those extra amounts that we've chosen to provide.
Got it. And then, I'm sure you took a look at the numbers, and you're here advocating for it because we are in a good, fiscally strong position to take on these exemptions.
Yes, sir. So currently, well, for fiscal year 24, we granted in total 1,156 exemptions related to the veterans exemption specifically. And the total cost to the city of that program was just over $1.1 million. Again, that already includes the doubling amount in those exemptions, and so that would be the higher cost item of the things that we're talking about today. The COLA adjustments, since they're on a going forward basis, and since they're tied to inflation, and in general, inflation is reasonable that we can support it.
Awesome. And then Commissioner Santiago, just shout out to your team that's doing amazing work, and also shout out to the community advocates. I know you mentioned Haywood, but also Meredith Tewitt, who's doing great work in the community with our veterans community. How are we getting the information out to let our veterans know that this exemption is out there, and how are we connecting them to the accredited claim agents? Are we sending out like a list? And if we do have a list, I would love to get that list so I can communicate that out as well.
Yeah, we try to use every avenue that we possibly can. The biggest and most effective outreach is actually getting out there in the community and talking to them. Just like today, early today. And again, thank you very much for the flexibility in moving the hearing to 3 o'clock, because I was at that town hall, and my biggest success when it comes to talking to the community, the veterans community in particular, is hanging around. Not just leaving when an event is over, but also hanging around to talk to them, to get more in-depth in conversation. Councilor Weber mentioned one of the women veterans today that was talking about the license plate. That was Meredith Tewitt that was talking about it.
Got it.
And so talking to her, talking to Haywood Fennell, being active in the veterans community. I'm a member of the VFW, the American Legion, the DAV, and talking to them as well at the meetings or at sidebars, just getting to be able to contact them and talking to not just the veterans community, but everybody that I could reach out to. Because if you're not the veteran, you may know a veteran, or you may know somebody who's a veteran. Just getting the word out there and being able to go out into the community and talk to the community about the tax exemption, about the many different provisions of the HERO Act of the state and the PACT Act that President Joe Biden signed a couple of years ago is highly important. Sometimes it is hard to get the word out there. So any different innovative ways that I could work on to ensure that the word gets out there to all our veterans that call Boston home, to all their family members, is something that I'm willing to listen to. One of the things that I talked about earlier was having these events. Going to these events. That's definitely here in the city council. I talked about it. You've given me an opportunity to talk about the things that we do. So any opportunity that I have to amplify these programs, to what the city does, what the state does, and what the federal government does, is always a plus. And if I could just reach one person, I know I've reached one person that I wasn't able to reach before, and I'm sure that individual will pass it on to someone else as well.
Awesome. And Commissioner Arenello, is everyone who's currently receiving, is it an automatic opt-in to the COLA? Like, would that just be automatically now placed, or will that be a separate application for the homeowner?
So hopefully, once we get this passed, it is something where we can build that in automatically, so there wouldn't be a need for people to apply separately. For this type of exemption, just to be clear for anyone who happens to be listening, people do need to file applications every year. It's not something that we can kind of give you once and then keep applying. We need to get a new application every year. The process for that, and also I should advocate that anyone who has questions and thinks they might be eligible for something, the best way to find out is to call my Taxpayer Referral and Assistance Center. And so my staff there is great, and they can kind of walk people through all the options and figure out which exemption kind of gets them the most money. Because the programs are honestly there to be used. So we're not interested in kind of like trying to shift somebody to the wrong program, or if you fill out the wrong application, that means you get nothing. We do everything we can to kind of steer people, as long as we have the documentation that we need because of the state, to steer people into the program that gets them the largest benefit. So my staff down there is really, really helpful. And their phone number is 617-635-4287. We also send out information every year in the third quarter tax bill to every property in the city, where with your bill, there's another sheet of paper that kind of talks about all the programs that we have and details them and encourages people to apply. So it talks about the residential exemption, the senior exemptions, everything that we have on offer.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And to my understanding of reading the HERO Act, this covers all veterans, whether they're disabled or, right, it's all veterans that are covered under that can receive the tax exemption and get the COLA exemption.
So the COLA exemptions apply to the exemption programs that already exist.
Okay.
And so those are limited to veterans with disabilities.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it is limited to that group of people. And so the COLA adjustment it's not really creating a new category of exemption. It's just
Right.
tweaking the programs that are already there.
Okay. Awesome. And speaking on that, Commissioner, knowing that our fire department, we have a whole host of disabled veterans at the fire department. How do we work with them to make sure that they're taking advantage of this great opportunity?
Just having that conversation again with them. Just early today, Sam Dillon was at the event that we were at the town hall. So I was able to have a conversation with him about trying to talk to the veterans that are in the fire department.
Nice.
The same thing with the police department as well.
Yeah.
Just maintaining and keeping that line of communication open to go over any changes or updates of any programs that all of the veterans are eligible for.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna check it with Shane. Okay. Awesome. No public testimony. Well, and thank you guys for all your hard work. I'm looking forward to making that recommended change in language in this ordinance, and looking forward to getting this passed. But with that said, the hearing on docket number 1303 is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Worrell.
Thank you so much.